exposing a person's private parts to a child, performing sexual acts in a child's presence, photographing a child in sexual poses, watching a child undress or use the bathroom, often without the child's knowledge, is sexual abuse. Hey guys, we hope you all are doing great. Welcome back to another episode at Egurl's Magic Thoughts with a little sass. And today we are sharing and talking our thoughts with you about sexual abuse. We know it is a very delicate topic, but we want to make awareness and make you know that boys and girls, either when they're young or teenagers, can all be victims. So let's get
So,
started.
this week we want to place our focus on talking about abuse. And yes, abuse comes in different shapes and forms, but we would like to focus on sexual abuse. I know that it is a very difficult topic to talk about. However, we feel it is very important to remind you that if you've been a victim of sexual abuse, girl, it's not your fault. You are not guilty of what happened to you. Trust me. I know that it may not seem like that because I've experienced it. I felt that it was my fault, that maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I looked at someone a certain way. Maybe I wasn't wearing what was to be expected. But really, no, that is not your fault. That is that dirty ass pervert mother, you know what I really want to say? That's his fault. He's the one that has issues up here, not you.
Sexual violence is a term we use to describe any sexual activity that happened without consent. This includes rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse, and sexual harassment, just to name a few. Sadly, we live in a world where there's all types of pervert people, and if you are a parent and have kids, I would like to invite you to keep an eye on them as much as possible because you cannot fully trust on everyone around your kids. Sadly, sexual abuse happens from family members or really close people that you would never thought would do something like this. So, when you see the first red flag, please take actions and always and all the time believe your kids because kids are not going to lie about something that they don't fully know or
So
understand.
don't you go around the world feeling guilty for what happened to you. It is not your fault.
Something that I think is important is to talk to your kids, have good communication and comprehension because these type of stuff usually happens when you do not have that kind of close relationship with your kids, for example. So always talk to them about sex education and mention that nobody should ever touch their private parts or make them feel uncomfortable. If this ever happens, that they need to tell you as soon as possible. And some advice or tips that I would like to add is to never let your kids stay with somebody when you're not around. Or if you need, for whatever reason it is, to leave your kids with somebody, be sure that this somebody is somebody that you can actually trust and keep communication with your kids while you are not with them.
And this is something that can happen to boys and girls, to young ladies, young men, elderly people too. It happens to everybody.
And well, I just want to finish this by sharing with you guys something personal that it took me some years to talk about. I am a victim of sexual abuse by two people very, very close to my family. And the first person that did this to me was around when I was 6 to 13 years old, and I had never told my mom because I was scared, because I had, that feeling of guilt, and years passed by, and of course, it traumatized me and gave me a lot of insecurities. But at the age of 27, I am almost 30 now, I had finally the value to tell my mom about that. And the second person, thank goodness, nothing physically happened, but I remember that I was around 9 years old, and that happened on a night. And I went to sleep with my mom, and I could not sleep at all the whole night because I had crazy thoughts. I was thinking and I was feeling scared that this person could come inside of our room where I was sleeping with my mom and my siblings and do something to me. I remember he said, "I want you to sleep with me tonight, but don't tell your mom." And I did not answer anything because I was shocked. I was scared. I felt like very cold, and I just went with my mom. And until the next day, at around midday, I had the value to tell my mom, but it took me a lot in me to express that. I overthought about it, and I remember telling my mom that I needed to tell her something. And she asked me, what was it? So I started crying, and words could not come out of my mouth. So she got like really scared, really nervous, and asked me what was going on. So I don't know. Finally, I told her, and she took action over that. But that feeling that finally words can come out of your mouth. So that's why I feel it is very important, super important, to have a very close relationship with your kids so that they can tell you anything and feel safe around you. So please protect your boys and your girls.